Hello. Oh, my music isn't going. There we go. Should be good now. Okay, it did ping. We're good. Hello. I gotta go put on a different shirt because I got like, you know, like the shirts you wear around the house and then like shirts you go out in. I'm wearing a shirt I'll wear around the house, not one I would want to go out in. Not that it's like a bad shirt, it's just like, it's a pajama shirt, you know? I was playing Slay the Spire and I forgot that I was gonna stream until right now. Today we have beef cam. It's a good thing. It's a good thing Beef can't hear what you're doing right now. She would be terrified.
Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
All right, let me see if I can get Beef cam set up.
Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
Woo! Beef cam is what it's all about. She's right here next to me. Ignore. Oh goodness, my hair. Jeez. Okay. Got jump scared by my own music. I have changed things a little bit so that when I read, it should automatically make things darker on Google Docs. So hopefully that helps. Let me see how I can add the beep cam, video capture, beef cam go. There she is. Where would we like her? Maybe here. Beef, say hello. Oh, airplane ears. Okay, I guess she's not too happy. Aw. She's a good girl. Beeb. I have also added a new command for you to be able to use. It is called water. If so I'm supposed to be drinking a lot of water.
It's time to.
Why is it not overlapping?
It's time to. It's time to. It's time to. It's time to.
I'll drink some water. Let me tell you what happened before we get into Lore Tuesday. Let me tell you what happened this weekend to me, because I had quite the July 4th weekend, to say the least. Oh, Beef doesn't want to hear this story. She's like, I already experienced this. I don't want to listen to it again. Oh, she's just changing into a loaf position. And some real ones already know this, but Friday night, I got a sudden back pain. Lower, maybe like mid right of my back. And it was the worst pain I've ever had in my life. And I have gone through some very painful things. I've broken bones, all sorts of things. This was worse than all of that. And music makes it sound like you're in hell while the angels are telling you to drink water. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. So, it was like 1 in the morning, maybe, maybe like 12:30. Virgil was already asleep because he had had the day off, and he's like, I'm gonna get some good sleep this weekend because I have a long weekend because of July 4. And I didn't want to wake him up, but I was in the middle of playing Slay the Spire, and I was telling, I think it was Cam and Mika, like, my back hurts so bad. I couldn't even spell. So I went over and I woke him up, and it was just getting worse. And I was like, what the hell is going on? And I was like, I think I need to go to the ER. Now, I don't have health insurance. My bank had just sent me like a thing. It's like a benefits thing where they give you like a few $100s if you have like an ER visit or something. But that's not health insurance. An ER trip is not cheap. So, you know, until I could get health insurance, I was trying to not go to the doctor at all. But I was like, I need to go to the ER. I feel like I'm dying. And so we went to the ER, and I got in there, and they gave me some pain meds and everything. Thankfully, you know, it's not 4th of July night. It is the night before 4th of July, so it was pretty empty. They got me in there. They gave me some pain meds, and it brought it down to like from a 9 to like a 5, like a 4.5, 5 pain level. It was not helping that much, but it was bearable at least. And they did all sorts of tests on me. I got a CAT scan. That was fun. I've never had that happen before. You go in there and you have to hold your breath, and then they have this big woo, woo, woo thing spin around you. And I had a kidney stone. Teeny tiny kidney stone. Never gotten one before in my life. My family does not have a history of them. But I am a chronic water not drinker. I don't drink enough water. And I drink a lot of iced tea, not like a ton. But like once in a while I'll get like a pack of like, you know, 8 iced teas, and I'll drink them throughout the week or whatever. It was so bad she had to stop her Slay the Spire 2 run. Yeah, nothing could stop me from a Slay the Spire 2 run. For those who don't know, I have, how many hours in Slay the Spire do I have now? 310 hours in Slay the Spire, which is not that much, but anyway, I was like, ouch, how long am I gonna have pain for? And they're like, it could be months. Some people have them for years. I'm like, this is the worst news I've ever received. Thankfully, it resolved itself within 6 hours. And the pain was gone. I was like, great. So I went to sleep like 8 a.m. 12 p.m. I woke up, and I couldn't stop throwing up. Could not hold food down, couldn't hold water down, and I was like, I need to go to the ER again, don't I? Why am I suddenly like unable to keep anything down? And so we went back. They had no idea. They're like, if you pass the kidney stone, you should be good to go. We don't know why you're so nauseous and everything. They gave me good old Zofran. Real ones know Zofran is so helpful. Dude, it saved my ass so many times. It's an anti-nausea medicine, but like really strong. It's very good. They gave me that. And then we went back home, and that seemed to solve the issue. They just told me to be on like bananas, rice, applesauce, and toast brat diet for the next couple days. We get home. Virgil gets to finally sit down at his computer. This is not over yet, by the way. This is not over yet. This is halfway through the story. Virgil gets maybe an hour of gaming time, and I get to sit in bed and try not to hurl. When a massive storm passes over Pennsylvania and knocks out power for 140,000 people, including us. Which is why the S&P went down. So, me, weak from not eating or drinking anything in 24 hours, and Virgil, who is stressed out of his mind because, you know, he said to take me to the ER twice, and just wants to sit down and enjoy his weekend. Now, 4th of July, at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, have to figure out what to do because we have no power. and we both stink. We hadn't taken showers because we were just trying to like get sleep after being up multiple times in the night. And so we're like, okay, we're gonna get a hotel. And so we go out and we pick up my prescription for more Zofran, and we get gas, and then we go to this hotel that was perfect. They were pet friendly for beef. They were pretty cheap, like $60 a night. We get in there, Virgil's in line. The couple in front of him got the last pet friendly room. And so we spent the next like hour and a half driving hotel to hotel, trying to find any place. Everyone was buying them up because everyone's power was out, and the hotels had power because they had like backup generators or whatever. And we finally found one. It was like $90 a night. So I'm like, we'll get 2 nights and see if things, because some people still don't have power, but they were telling us it would be Wednesday night at the earliest to get power restored. And we're like, we're not doing that. Especially with me sick. We had some applesauce, but like, I couldn't make any rice. I couldn't make any broth. Anyway. So, we get into the hotel, and everything seems to be fine. And we sleep there the night, and then we go home to pick up more of our stuff, and the power's on, and nobody told us. But everything seemed to resolve itself. Oh, no, that isn't the end either. That isn't the end. Because a second storm passed over us, and we live in a basement, the entire basement flooded. You did not miss it. Don't worry. I'll get to the what if server stuff in a second. The entire basement flooded. My desk, let me see if I can show a picture. Let me see if I can get a picture of this. Actually, yeah. No, I put it in SMP announcements. My entire office area, this is my setup right here, flooded with like 1.5 inches of water. My rug was soaked in stink water, which Beef loves, by the way. She's obsessed with the stink water. She has multiple sources of fresh water to drink, and she keeps trying to drink the stink water. Anyway, this was pouring out of the wall like a leaky boat. So then, me having eaten nothing but 2 cups of applesauce in the last 36 hours, and Virgil, who was stressed out of his mind and hadn't slept more than like 4 hours, had to get a shop vac and suck all of this up and drag it up the stairs. It was a lot of water. It was heavy. And then come back and do it again. It was a mess. It was an absolute nightmare. But we're good now. Okay. For those of you who are in the what if server, we're moving on to other stuff now. My weekend was a mess, but that's... Yeah. So, drink your water, folks. Very important to drink water because you will get kidney stones and then you'll have the worst weekend of your life.
It's time to...
Yeah. I did a ritual to put all of the staff cursed, because the staff members of the SMP are all cursed and keep getting sent to the ER and stuck in caves and various things, car crashes, all of that. It's like the AO3 curse. Anyway, I did a cleansing ritual to transfer all of it to me, and I think it happened this weekend. Okay. Allow me to read something.
It's time to...
I will drink water as many times as you do that. Okay. For those of you who are part of the what if server, we kind of got a little distracted with the main SMP, and that is fine. So nobody's played on there for a while, but there also is maybe a good reason for that, a lore reason. This was planned from the beginning, by the way. But the what if server is officially ending today. It's not like it's open anyway. We've had it closed for a while, but okay. In the alternate timeline where the others were taken by the Great Anomaly, let me explain for a second for those who weren't in the what if server. The what if servers are modded Minecraft servers that we run that are like, what if this happened instead? It was loosely inspired by the what if MCU stuff. So for the first one, it was what if the Great Anomaly never happened, and it was based on the Arcturus, Marcello's ship. And so we did a bunch of missions that way. And this one was what if it was a character that was taken by the Great Anomaly in your character's backstory, if they had lived instead. So for for me, I mean, Freya can't get taken by the Great Anomaly, but I played Yelena. So if Marcello had been taken, then my character maybe would have lived. Comet chose Dahlia. We had a bunch of instead of Zinnia, there was a Marigold. Instead of Mira, there was Luna. Anyway, everyone chose characters from their backstory that would have lived instead. Okay, continuing. In the alternate timeline where others were taken by the Great Anomaly, the good people of Solace were not the only ones affected. In this timeline, Miraju never came to Solace. He never sought to end all life on the planet, and he never sealed himself inside of the time bubble. When Echo arrived to investigate Solace and sent Cypher down, he never encountered the bubble or Miraju. He was able to complete his work in peace and return to the ship. On a warm afternoon in 2497, every biological being on this alternate Solace vanished without a trace, leaving behind only androids, cyborgs, and other sentient machines. Yelena, Marigold, Clint, Ash, Luna, Rose, Dahlia, Eleve, Carla, Charlie, Gilbert, Silas, and Argol were killed by Echo in an instant, leaving behind only Clyde, Everessa, and Sophie. They were taken during their everyday activities, eating lunch, repairing vehicles, talking with friends. The city they built together left empty. So yeah, that is the conclusion of What If Season 2. Because the time bubble never existed, Cypher didn't get off track, and Echo completed the job.
It's time to...
I just drank water. I'm not drinking water again. Mika. Okay. Look, I know you guys are mad. I know you're mad. But, like, it's for the lore. It's for the lore. Okay, Mika. Okay. But yeah, all of your characters are dead. Unless you're Everessa, Clyde, or Sophie. They are going to be left there on Solace to pick up the pieces. And Freya is there technically too. Because but like I never played her or anything, so you know, she is there. I'm ready to see some really angsty art. Alright, let's continue with Lore Tuesday. Happy music to celebrate this. Okay. Tuesday the 30th was the last day. Feels like forever ago. We already read that. Alright, we have a new sheet for Alice. Wow. Alice, the head knight of the Solace Luminous Order's Knights from the planet Adria. Sent to Solace to spread the word of the light. He has made some friends along the way, and he is hoping for a peaceful time on Solace. I don't know about peaceful. I don't know. This seems like a cult to me. In the What If Zinni and Marigold meet again? Oh. Oh! So well, maybe, I don't know if, can Aleve die? And then we have from Nyx, Quinon Nomos. He got into an accident when he turned 100 and has to wear his specialized suit ever since, as his body is very damaged. Motivations: becoming the best lawyer. Okay. We have Orion. Now free of the Luminous Empire's mask control, he is trying to figure out how to live a normal life with his adopted mother, Light. Aw. Do I have... Okay, no. I need a further zoom out thing. And then we have Protocol. The AI of the now destroyed Luminous Empire's controlling mask, forced to answer questions about the Empire stored on Light's tablet. Yo! I didn't know about this. That's cool. We have Onyx. He has recently come to Solace in hopes for a safer place to call home. He is usually very friendly and enjoys giving people gifts. Alright, love to see the new characters. Let's scroll on up. I know there's a lot of fun stuff. Okay, we read this, we read this. We did not see this. This is an animation that Mika has been, has made. It's pretty cool. Mika's been doing some really cool stuff lately. I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of her. Not proud, I didn't have any part in it, so I'm not proud of it, but...
Do you blame yourself?
What?
Well, it's quite common in this situation for a patient to feel a kind of guilt.
What situation?
The accident. It's very common for people to invent, blame, or create a causality when in reality, it was completely out of your control.
Oh, the angst! Oh, the angst! Yeah, screaming, crying, throwing up. Why is my camera, like, off? Hold on. Yeah, exactly. There we go. I'm gonna have bigger beef cam now. Can I, like... Is it really just a square? Damn, it really is. She is fast asleep. She's gonna get up the second Virgil comes home, though. The Luminous Order. Welcome. Alright, back to YouTube.
Welcome to Luminous Order.
Classic ARG TTS.
Where everyone is welcome.
Is that trouble? Okay. Ominous. Croy's journal. From... Oh, God! Wednesday, 1st of July, 2498. I'm hosting one of the first faction meetings for my faction in a few hours. My nerves are already shot. They are simple meetings, just like the ones Lumeran Freya holds weekly. Only I had set them to be monthly instead. I felt as if it may have been too much for the faction members if they were to go to 2 meetings every week. What I hope now is that they will not become exactly like the meetings held by the Lumeran. They will not, I know that. As long as I manage everything to the standard needed. As long as I make sure Kindlegrim lives up to its new title. I have worked myself up over such a silly thing when preparing. I rearranged the meeting room about 5 separate times so that it looked equal. I do not want to be above anyone when speaking. It feels wrong to me. Kron is doing well, which I am beyond glad for. They are still suffering from the occasional nightmares, from the crash, from Marana, from the ball. When these terrors began, it was a lot worse. They refused to sleep sometimes. Their weak heart would be hammering against their chest. They would only end up falling asleep if I held and carried them around. They have eased now, though. Kron still gets them from time to time, but they barely remember them when they are awake. If they ever spike again, I might consider getting them an appointment in the psychiatry department that was recently established. Aside from all of this, Waters and Dr. Magos are both missing. I know Kron and had found one of Magos's bug-like assistants in the mangrove swamps near our faction. That was also where they found a giant disappearing creature, which is concerning. I will ask my lookouts to keep an eye on that area. As for Waters, I had only caught that missing poster not long after Kron told me at the first faction meeting that he was missing. Light had announced it. Gods, she cannot catch a moment's breath. The poor girl lost her legs, and she had to announce that her father was missing? My absence by her side probably is not making it easier either. I should help her. I will. It just feels wrong for me to do so, as if I am replacing something that I could never live up to. I have no excuses not to. Maybe inviting her to Kindlegrim soon will be good for us. To catch up, to ask what I can do. Maybe I can see her at the meeting later today. We will see. I love seeing everyone using ellipsis now. It is a good program. I just realized for ellipsis, this needs to be moved down a little bit, I think. But whatever. Spoken with a recorder. Log date 0701. I have to admit, this planet is quaint. There are people from all over the galaxy, it seems. Our leader of Kindlegrim? He's an actual ghost. I thought those were just fairy tales, but no, they are real. Apparently there was another person who had arrived some time ago. Freya, I believe her name was. I was not at the meeting she had talked in. I was attending to more crucial matters, but from what I heard, she is something of a divine being. A divine being living amongst us. I must have a talk with her. I need to know everything. Ahem. Anyway, after meeting with Croy, he set me up to be a reporter here at Kindlegrim, to which I responded humbly and with absolute eloquence. It was practically what I did on Valerie. How hard could it be now? I'm sure my abilities will come into use eventually. Speaking of divine beings, I was at a meeting last week when it was discussed that there would be a faction known as the Luminous Order that also worships a divine being, the god of the light, the leader said. With me being a, former creature of light, I thought it interesting. Maybe I will try to attend one of their meetings or gatherings to get more information. And more news about myself, I've been settling inside of a mountain. I did not realize that actually building this thing would take so much resources, but alas, it is a task I shall complete. Maybe after I am done with the house, I will try to mingle with some of the other faction members. We did have a meeting today, but it was all mundane. However, Croy did ask of the meetings of the reporters, lookouts, and builders. I'll make sure to prove and show to him that my reporting skills are, without a shadow of a doubt, top-notch. Hopefully. End log. Oh, another thing. I'm going to try to see to gather information about this planet's inhabitants and their cultures. I will write them down in books and see to it that I get every piece of information I can. Maybe it'll give me a better aspect of them. End log. Really this time. We have protocols.
Welcome to Luminous Orders Protocols 101. When you have lost your mask, do not panic. Wait at least 24 hours. If the mask is not back onto your face, it will find its host no matter what cost. It will go searching until it finds its host. Welcome back to the Order.
Okay. What do you mean the mask will find its host? That's freaky. That is really scary. Okay. More backstory lore. If only y'all knew the lengths it took to write this. The exception. We have brief mention of labor camps as well as past violence and injuries. I'm going to try my best to say this word. Shashlivchiki had expected to die. For 3 days, every observatory on the planet tracked the impossible armada approaching through the void. The fleet was so immense that astronomers stopped counting individual vessels after the first hour. The stars disappeared one by one behind black silhouettes until night itself seemed to belong to Moshni. Across the planet, governments declared states of emergency, military bunkers sealed, orbital defenses activated, temples filled. Children were hidden underground. Everyone knew the stories. The harvesters had vanished. The empire of Keled had burned. Whole civilizations had disappeared after what people called the spark in the galaxy, and at the center of every story was the same name, the Navka. No one knew if she was a woman, a goddess, or simply what the Moshnians called death. No one wanted to find out. Shashlivchiki was not innocent. For decades, its ruling directorate had traded with slavers, sold weapons to pirate states, and quietly supplied resources to the harvesters before the bombing of Moshni. They had never taken part in the attack itself, but they had helped sustain the regime that did. The people had protested. For years, thousands had disappeared into labor camps. Cities had revolted only to be crushed. The directorate remained untouched until the sky turned black. The president of the directorate stood at the central palace, staring upward through reinforced glass. They're taking positions. His chief of staff looked pale. They haven't fired. They're waiting. For what? No one answered. Across the entire planet, every communication channel suddenly went silent. Then one transmission replaced them all. The crest of Moshni appeared, a black and blue shield, a golden crown with swords crossed under it, a dark yellow star burning at its center. Then a woman's voice. Calm, cold. This is High General Anya Chernova of Moshnian Armed Forces. Of the Moshnian Armed Forces. Every screen, every radio, every implant, every ship, the same voice. We have come for those responsible. Silence. Civilians who lay down their arms will not be harmed. Another pause. Our war is not with you. For several seconds, no one moved. Then something happened that none of the Moshni's strategists had predicted. People walked into the streets, not carrying weapons, carrying white cloth. Workers, teachers, farmers, children. Millions of them. Someone knelt, then another, the entire city blocks, not in surrender, in relief. A woman looked directly into a hovering Imperial drone. We've waited 20 years. An old man removed the insignia of the directorate from his coat and threw it into the street. A factory worker climbed onto a military checkpoint and pulled down the government's banner with his bare hands. Crowds began chanting, not against Moshni, against their own rulers. Open the gates! Take them! They never spoke for us. We'll show you where they're hiding. But the damage had already been done. Yet even so, the people seemed delighted to rebuild. Anya walked to the capital days later. No helmet, no escort beyond a small honor guard. The city smelled of rain instead of smoke. People watched from sidewalks in complete silence. Not fear. Something closer to awe. A little girl stepped away from her mother. She held a small wreath woven from local blue flowers. The soldiers tensed. Anya stopped. The child offered the wreath with both hands. I don't know. Oh, damn it. It scrolled up. I don't know how to pronounce this word. Is it babushka? Grandmother, yeah, babushka. Oh my god. My little bit of Russian that I know from my cousins. She whispered nervously. That your gods listened when ours didn't. The square fell completely silent. Anya looked at the flowers for several moments. Then she accepted them. She knelt to the child's height. Our gods listened because your people never stopped speaking. The girl smiled. It was the first genuine smile Anya had seen from a civilian in years. Months later, Shashlivchiki held its first free gathering. The statues of the directorate had been removed. In their place stood wooden carvings of Eurylo, Marena, and the other gods of Moshni. Not because the empire had demanded it, but because people chose them as symbols of renewal, remembrance, and justice. Old local traditions remained, but they intertwined with Moshnian customs. Spring festivals welcomed songs to Eurylo. Funeral rites adopted the burning of the dead and the burial of their clothing, honoring both local ancestors and the example of Moshni. The people of Shashlivchiki became formally known as the Shashlivchane, meaning the people of Shashlivchiki. Okay. Among friends and allies, however, they embraced a shorter nickname, Shashti. It began as a military shorthand used by imperial soldiers. Eventually, the people adopted it with pride. Years later, visitors noticed something unusual. Every town square contained two banners. One bore the yellow star of Shashlivchiki, the other carried the black and gold standard of Moshni, not as the banner of conquerors, as the banner of liberators. Older Shasti would tell their grandchildren, the same story every spring. When the stars disappeared, we thought death had finally found us. They would look towards the heavens, where Moshnian patrol ships still passed quietly overhead. Instead, the gods came for our tyrants. The bombing had lasted 17 minutes. That was all. 17 minutes had reduced an entire district of Shashlivchiki to broken stone and burning steel. Smoke reeled between collapsed apartment blocks as Imperial engineers and rescue teams searched for survivors. Heavy machinery groaned as concrete slabs were lifted one by one, while medics rushed between the wounded soldiers with stretchers stained gray by ash. Urilo stood atop what had once been a market square. His black military cloak swayed gently in the hot wind. Around him, officers called out casualty reports, but he barely heard them. His eyes had caught something else. A faint sound, not a scream, not even a cry. A knock. 3 weak knocks beneath the rubble. He raised one hand. The entire rescue operation stopped. Again, 3 knocks. There. Before anyone could react, Urilo crossed the shattered street. A collapsed building blocked the sound completely. Steel beams twisted through broken masonry like roots beneath a fallen tree. Engineers hurried after him. "My lord, it's unstable." Urilo ignored them. He placed one gloved hand. Let me see. Oh, it should be zoomed like this, I guess. Do this. There we go. Urilo ignored them. He placed one gloved hand against the cracked stone, closed his eyes. As the god of spring, harvest, and life, he could feel things that others could not. Not thoughts, not memories. Life. Tiny, desperate sparks beneath layers of concrete. One. Only one. "She's alive." The soldiers immediately began lifting debris. "No," Urilo said. "There isn't time." He stepped forward himself. The ground trembled, not from force, from growth. Thin green vines emerged silently from cracks in the pavement, weaving beneath shattered slabs. Thick roots followed, pushing aside pieces of concrete with impossible strength. Not breaking the rubble, but gently lifting it as though the earth itself had decided to help. Stone shifted, steel bent. Dust filled the air. Then, a hand. Small, covered in ash. Urilo knelt immediately. Together, the soldiers pulled away the final pieces of debris. Curled beneath a collapsed doorway lay a young woman, barely conscious, light hair matted with dust, blood running down one side of her face, one arm trapped awkwardly beneath a broken support beam. She opened one eye. It struggled to focus. Then it widened. "You." Her voice was little more than breath. Urilo recognized her at the same moment. "Mars." She gave the smallest nod. Months earlier, before the war reached Shashlivchiki, he had found her abandoned outside a remote village. She had barely been alive then, too. Her own covenant had chosen her as a sacrifice, believing her death would secure divine favor. Left bound beneath the open sky, she had expected the gods to answer with silence. Instead, Urilo had found her while traveling the countryside. He had cut the ropes himself, fed her, given her safe passage to the nearest town. Before leaving, he had told her only one thing. No god worthy of worship asks for an innocent life. He had never expected to see her again, yet here she was, buried beneath another catastrophe. Mars tried to laugh. It became a cough instead. "I suppose," she whispered, "this is becoming a habit." For the first time in days, the corner of Urilo's mouth almost lifted. "Let's not make it a tradition." The medics reached her. One look was enough. "My lord," one said quietly. "Her spine." Another shook his head. "Internal injuries. Crushed pelvis. We can stabilize her, but—" He couldn't finish. Mars saw their faces. She understood anyway. So, she murmured, this is it. Eurylo looked down at her. He saw the fear she was trying to hide. Not fear of dying, fear of surviving broken, unable to walk, unable to help rebuild, unable to live. Around them, rescue crews continued pulling survivors from the ruins. The air smelled of smoke, blood, and rain. Eurylo slowly removed one glove. His hand was warm, almost impossibly so. Mars, she looked at him. When your covenant abandoned you, you still chose kindness. He remembered hearing stories from villagers afterwards. She had become a medic, someone who spent her days helping strangers despite what had been done to her. You answered cruelty with compassion. She frowned weakly. I just didn't want anyone else to feel alone. Eurylo smiled sadly. The fields remember every seed planted. He placed his hand gently over her chest. Warmth spread through her body, not burning, growing, like the first sunlight after a long winter. Golden light flowed beneath her skin, tracing delicate patterns like intertwining vines. It spread through broken bones, torn muscle, bruised organs, not forcing them whole, but urging them to mend as a forest reclaims land after a fire. The cracks in her ribs eased, her breathing steadied, the color returned to her face. Around them, tiny green shoots pushed through the fractured pavement. Flowers bloomed between broken stones. Every soldier nearby fell silent. Eurylo closed his eyes. This is not a cure, he said softly. It is a gift. The light settled deep within Mars before fading. She blinked. Her pain was gone. More than that, she could feel it. Life. Every heartbeat around her, every wounded soul, every injured child beneath another pile of rubble. The sensation flooded her like a spring rain. She gasped. What? Eurylo helped her sit upright. My power is to call life from barren ground. He looked at the flowers blooming around them. Yours will be to call it back from suffering. Mars stared at her hands. Soft golden light shimmered faintly between her fingers. When one of the medics knelt beside a wounded rescuer, Mars reached out almost instinctively. The light flowed from her palm into the injured man, easing his pain and closing the worst of his wounds. The medic stepped back in astonishment. Mars looked up at Eurylo, tears gathering in her eyes. I don't deserve this. Eurylo gently helped her to her feet. No, he smiled, a small, tired smile. But neither did you deserve what was done to you. Behind them, the rescue continued. Ahead of them, people still cried out beneath shattered buildings. Eurylo rested a hand briefly on her shoulder. Come. Mars nodded. Together, the god of spring and the woman who had survived 2 deaths walked into the ruins, not as miracles, but as those determined to make sure as many others as possible would live to see another spring. Peak as always. I don't know how you do it with how busy you are all the time. But fantastic. We have Bacon backstory. Day 25 since the relocation. I have been working on a new tavern for the pure spirits. It's been really fun, yet so tiresome since I haven't really built anything with high standards yet. It has always been Dop or Nephorite. I just gathered material. I suppose it's easier to work in a group where people have assignments instead of just raw dogging it solo styles. had to put my hair up. It's getting in my way. I miss my past life, my parents and brothers, my friend from Talos 2, and the ones that I've made on Solace I haven't seen in ages. I assume that Dop Dop has passed on to live in Valhalla. He was a great friend and leader. He still is. I will not give up on my hope. I shall continue searching lands far and wide to find my best friend. I forget, did Dop Dop leave or get banned? I don't remember what happened. Did you just stop playing? I'm not adding captions to faction video. Should I still add the character music or no? That's up to you. I mean, that doesn't matter to me. Oh, you went to college. Oh, okay, cool. Day 27 says the relocation. It seems like I've taken on too much. Trying to keep a once great faction alive, build a home for myself, and help this Trigal lass with some weird demon. I believe my father had some books about ancient Earth mythology, and I promised that I would check those for any sort of historical resemblance. Boy, do I miss my father. He was one hell of a man, a real stand-up guy, a man that worked himself to the bones yet found time to spend time with his family. He got back on his feet rather quickly after the divorce, and he found himself a wonderful woman. I also miss my mother. She was the sweetest person one could imagine. She stood alone with me and my brother and cared for us. She did everything to make us happy and not feel like we were different from all the other kids. It didn't always work since went to a friend's house, it seemed like they had it all figured out. She didn't seem to move on after the divorce. She had a few boyfriends here and there, and I hated them all. Not a day goes without me thinking about New Sweden. It sure was beautiful there. The forests and landscape were amazing, but the best part was the culture and food. Imagine coming home from a long day at school and you see your father making blood pudding and potatis platar? I bet I'm butchering that. It's delicious. Let me actually hear. Hold on. Pronunciation.
Plättar.
Platar. Okay. Blood pudding is basically pig's blood or cow, flour, salt, and sugar. Potatis platar is usually leftover mashed potatoes that you fry. Oh yeah, I've had that. Dude, the freaking, I'm like 30% Swedish or something. This is terrible. I'm sorry. I can't claim that 30% Swedish anymore. We have Zephyrlog from Balios. Oh, wait. Zephyrlog Balios. Oh, Zephyr talking about Balios. Oh, God. My friend lives in Sweden, taught me some Swedish. That's cool. Today was more uneventful. I haven't been to the faction meetings. Why would I? All I heard was that the lady who abandoned her people is back. Big whoop. She will probably just run the next time something gets hard. The faction I am hiding in to not be a loner had a meeting. It was boring. Just the owner speaking about who to talk to when people need, Just the owner speaking about who to talk to when people need things. Also spoke about his child. One thing I noticed was the kid who threw things at me last season was this Tar Man's kid. During the meeting, the fox's sister was there. I knew she was special. I guess I could sense it. I guess she could sense it was me since I didn't hide anything but physical changes. She kept glaring at me. I don't care. I'm not doing anything to wrong her, so she shouldn't do anything to wrong me. I've started on my home, a nice little cottage away from the rest of the people. After the cottage is made, I'll start on my forge. Then I can get my weapon made. I heard that Balios is back, though I can tell it's not him. The symbols on my old cloak have been glowing, which means a primordial is near. I wonder who it is. I can tell it's not the blood god. He brought fear into the souls around him. It was just a natural thing that happens. This being doesn't bring pain, or at least to some people. He won't pose a threat to my mission for now, as I'm not ready to take action. But as long as Balios is back and near, I will finally be able to complete my mission, and then I can go home. And I can spend my days on a nice farm, probably around the Ashlands. Lila always loved that area. It would be nice to send her soul free after so long. She doesn't deserve to be in the arms of her killer, even if I was supposed to love her. Did Zephyr kill this Lila person? Unfortunate. The only thing I know how to say in Swedish is I killed a family of 9 in southern Minnesota. Huh? Your computer's back. Let's go. All right, we have some audio interviews. Minor mentions blood, mentions forced body modification, mentions of mind control. Interview. Oh, wow, this is so pretty. Oh, my God.
Alice? Are you awake? Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Are you aware of where you are?
I am aware of where I am. My question is why I am here.
You are here because you owe Elias debt. I am here to reap what you owe. I'm going to ask you questions, and you will answer them.
Liar's debt. That is a new one. Who said I was
You
lying to
lied
you?
about your intentions with your order. If you lie again, I will know.
You will know. How funny, because it seems you can even tell when people are lying to you in front of you.
Don't test me, Atlas. Not with this. I've casted a spell around the barrier keeping you trapped. It will detect if you lie or not.
Trapped for now? What will happen if poor Lucky gets involved? Even worse, what will happen if your poor sister
You sound like
does?
Ultron.
Don't you dare threaten them. They have nothing to do with this.
Fine. What do you want? I know you want something, so spill it.
Tell me about the empire you serve.
The Luminous Empire, great people. They just want to change the minds of the non-believers.
Half truth. Now tell me, how exactly do they do that? Do parasites like you?
Most of the time, yes. They use the mask. A more reasonable approach.
Reasonable. You call hooking hook like needles into a person's face, surgically changing them, and dominating their will reasonable? The god you serve truly sounds like a devil.
They need to be more humanoid to serve the Empire.
That gives you no right to modify a person's body to such extremes against their will. That gives you no right to conquer and subjugate innocent lives who simply want to live their freedom.
If the light wanted them to have free will, they would have said so. If the light made it so, we would fix the uncivilized of the planets.
Ironic that Light is the one giving this interview. 'Cause Light, you know, Luminous Order, Light. Scary. All right, interview 2.
Well, are you going to speak, Atlas? Surely you have something to say, even with those legs of yours melted.
Funny, because all this, all you can really do without me. You won't get any info on the Empire's real plan for Solex.
Such arrogance for such a small thing. So stupid as well. I realized something. You are a program. I can hack your software.
Hack, yes, but put in a code not from your world. A code to prevent this type of stuff. Plus, you will need to take me out of the circle for that.
I don't need all of you. Just a code.
Damn. That was intense. Okay. Oh. Oh. Oh, hi, Beef. You having a good nap? She's in a little ball. So cute. Yeah, Light could solo Olivecco. Let's be real. Answer a fool according to his folly, or he will be wise in his own eyes. Oh, this is gonna be fun.
I don't blame her for hitting you, you know? Where the hell is your empathy?
What are you talking about?
You know what you did in there? What you said to that woman?
Said what? Her kids are dead. All I did was use the past tense.
I can't believe you.
I can't believe her!
What?
She couldn't tell the difference? Are you serious? The obvious black eyes, the seam down the face. If she'd been paying more attention, if she cared, as much as she said she did, she would have taken the time to check under the bed after little Timmy started crying about a monster the first time.
You can't expect her to have known that there was a fucking monster under her bed!
To check! 15
If she had done it, would have just...
I feel like I'm interrupting. I feel like where's the hold on. I feel like this fucking thing. I feel like this right now. Okay.
Head!
To check! 15
If she had done it, would have just killed her instead!
Actually, if an Ursa is that size, it's in its cornered by several
Are you
witnesses.
kidding me? You just think you're smarter and better than everyone, don't you? You're so absorbed with these things, you can't see past your own ego. Dr. Florence Monroe, scientific genius.
I am a genius! Nobody here is getting anything done! The company is staying afloat because of me! All you idiots want to do is kill them! You're exterminators, not researchers! I've only had burns for a month now, I've learned more than I've ever thought was possible!
Stop calling it that like it's a person! It's not a human!
It's better than a human!
What if one of those things killed Elias? Would you be able to tell the difference?
I sent him away to live with my parents for a reason. I'll never have to. Where did they go?
Where'd what go?
Vern? They're gone.
What do you mean they're gone? How is that?
Oh God, they're gonna kill them.
Bird was Rex's parents' name? Oh, I'm sorry, Beef. I'm sorry. Burn was Rex's parents' name? Oh my god. Dude, the connections here. In Memoriam of Dr. Florence Monroe. Dr. Monroe was the lead scientist at Zorad 12's intelligence department researching the threat known as ersatz. It is due to her many years of diligent work that we now know how to efficiently protect the public from ersatz. After her death, along with many more of our planet's bravest and brightest taken from us by an ersat attack, our government began funding our protectors, the EEA. She was a loving mother and a brilliant mind. If you want to learn more about Dr. Monroe, visit our front desk. My god, dude, crazy voice acting. Holy. White men when they see an abandoned urban building. Oh no! Oh no! I feel like... Okay, hold on. I feel like I need, like YouTuber music. Like, royalty-free, super cool... Hold on. Let me look at this. Royalty... Twitch safe epic music. That's not what instrumental. This is important. This is important. I want instrumental. Instrumental. Gaming music. It's I need instrumental. I need instrumental. Come on. It's close. It's close. You know what I'm thinking of? Like the classic YouTube. I'm just gonna use this one. This is fine. It's very YouTuber. I'm sorry, Beef. I know. She's like, you're gonna be loud. She's putting her chin over the side. It's so cute. Hey guys, Tanner here. I posted all I found in that old research facility here, but I'm really interested in finding out more. The files and audio logs I uploaded about Ersatz were ones I found in an old computer, like ancient. It's been about 10 years since that place went under, especially after the EEA was founded a few years after that stuff in the last audio log. Scary stuff. Recently, I went back to that old place after the storm, and one of the fences was knocked down. I'm really thinking about going in there and checking it out. Maybe there's more freaky stuff? I love this old mystery stuff. Even though, you know, it's kind of clear what happened. I might go tomorrow depending on how clear the weather is. I'll keep you posted. I realize this is tweets, but I'm reading it like a YouTuber, you know? Yo, I'm at the attached building. It's muggy out, but it's not raining, so that's good. The place was covered in graffiti. Pretty cool graffiti spot if that's the kind of thing you do. I found a hole in the side, and when I went in, I saw a ladder going up somewhere. It's really rusted. I'm gonna see if I can pry it open with something. My god, we have actual, like, images. Whoa. Found a crowbar! Hashtag I heart Half-Life. Oh, bye, Beef. Oh god. I did all the YouTube. It wasn't even that long. I was expecting this to be longer, so I did the YouTube thing for nothing. Yeah. Yeah, Beef was really mad at me. Beef! I'm done now. Baby Beef. Yeah, okay. Rip Beef. I'm not going back.
Hello? 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 Is anybody there? Hello? I didn't know if I was trespassing or not. I can go.
You don't have to call the cops or anything. I'll just leave. What the? Hello? Hello? Is anybody there? We know what happened there. Oh no. Was that, now question, was that Vern or some other Ursot? Because, okay, I'm guessing from what we can see with this at the end. Did Dr. Monroe get killed during this incident? An Ursot attack. That makes me think that that was Vern. Maybe killing people, it was Vern. Yeah, I think Vern killed people in an attack, but then, wow, did they just never catch him? Interesting. Terrifying. I love it. First attempt at some background lore for Salby the Sandwich Man. Let's go. Serious stuff for an unserious character. I can't tell if this is good or not, but I guess the people watching Lore Tuesday will know. Electronic Log System Entry 1, Untitled. My name is Salby. I'm typing this message in the ship's computer 2 hours after I left the orbit of Vikal. Sorry. My friends, the Jolo that created me, they all seem in a hurry to get me off the planet. From what I observed, they were sick. I mean, they always did seem sick, but it was more noticeable than usual. But I'd much rather focus on the objective that they gave me instead of their condition. But this whole situation, it seems rushed. They gave me the coordinates of a planet and a few documents that I borrowed from before my departure. I've learned that the planet that they are sending me to apparently just popped into existence a few years before I was created. Clearly, there's a lot more to it than that, and with the science equipment that has been stored on this ship, I feel as if they've intended for me to find out why there's suddenly a planet appearing out of nowhere, and that is exactly what I'll try to do. Typing pauses for extended period, resuming 6 hours after the entry was initially created. Vern was always keen on gorging himself. He was a very dangerous elder Ursot. Interest. That old place is out Vern's territory. Yeah, that's what I figured. It was that incident that killed her. Ooh. That is scary. Do we have any pictures of, I forget, of what like the Ursots look like when they aren't imitating? I don't remember. Before the Julo sent me off on this ship, they warned me about a planet that I'm heading towards, suggesting there could be potentially hostile creatures within it, which is making me doubt their decision to send me here even more. There is? Awesome. I'm sure that, yeah. I can't remember. They're on the forum. All right. They just gave me enough fuel to get back to the planet, and that's a very small amount. They were in a hurry to get me out, almost in like a panic. I'd like to get back in contact with them, but it seems that the way they program the ship's computer only allows me to send out messages to the void of space, not receive. I think that I've decided, even with the risk, I will attempt to land on the planet my people have chosen for me. Number 2, sentient life. I've reached the designated planet, full of plant life and animals large, but most importantly, there are structures that can only be made by intelligent life. There are wooden and some stone structures that can only be created by the complex tools and techniques of at least one of multiple different intelligent species. Along with that, I observed a large city of sorts, and the buildings within it vary greatly, suggesting that whatever group this is, that they are communal, and they've developed a sort of social center for them to gather in. Why is a sandwich like, wow, I found sentient life? You're a sentient sandwich! Anything can happen! While all of that does get rid of some of the stress I've been having about meeting some aggressive apex predator here, I don't think it would be a good idea to directly interact with them yet, since I don't know any of their social practices. I don't know if they would be unappetized to eat me by the fact I'm an intelligent person like them. My plan now is to, as silently as possible, land the spacecraft onto the planet. At night would be preferable. Finally, someone landing and not crash landing. Thank you. This is like probably the first one of the season that isn't a crash landing. And then try to disassemble it as soon as possible. Then I could reassemble the parts into a temporary shelter. Number 3, journaling. After about 2 weeks of interacting with the locals of this planet, which they call Solace, I think it'd be safe to say that I don't have to hide and run away from anybody. From what I've gathered, the people who reside on this planet seem to come from a variety of other worlds, which makes mostly all of them different species. Nobody here I've talked to seems to actually be from Solace, which further supports the documents that I took from the Vikal that explain this planet just appeared suddenly. In the following weeks, I will attempt to find an explanation of the origin of Solace. If you want him to talk to Freya, go ahead. But for now, at least, my main goal will be to regain contact with the planet Vikal, which so far has been unsuccessful. I'll need to create a radio that would be able to transmit a signal off the planet, and I think I could get close to achieving that. You could also talk to the Navy. They can just send the message for you. With the resource I've recently discovered, redstone. Redstone seems to be a metal considering it's highly conductive, and for what I've discovered so far, it's the only material I can use that will effectively carry electrical current. Trust me, in canon, Minecraft canon and the actual canon are a little blurry. There's real electronics and stuff that you can use. You don't have to rely on redstone. We gotta give this sandwich amnesia a stat? What, so you gonna eat it? I believe that attempting to figure out how redstone works should be my highest priority, and is likely the only way I'll be able to get back in contact with my people back on Vikal. Entry number 4, I'm not intelligent. The Julo, my family, they taught me so much in the short time I had to spend with them. They gave me nearly thousands of years' worth of knowledge in less than 2. Yet with all that knowledge, I am unable to grasp the fact that they are all dead. Oh, my family, my people, they are gone. And for several weeks, I've been unable to see the reality of the situation. They were my family. They loved me. I know that. I know that because if they didn't, they would have never sent me here. They would have never bothered sending me here and would have been content letting me die in Vikal. But as I sit here, as I type this, I'm starting to wonder if I was meant to have some sort of greater purpose, spreading the legacy of those who raised me, discovering something they could not, creating something they could not, and yet the more I think about it, the more I realize that I could never do any of those things. What am I to be better than they were, when I'm nothing compared to them? The way they thought, the way they moved, how they breathed, how they viewed and felt the world around them, it was all superior, because they were people, and I am far from a person. Oh, why are we getting sad sandwich lore? Oh. Oh. Alright, we got Jangler lore. Mentions of injury. With new lands means uncharted maps to be sketched. I put the last bundle of potatoes for the journey into my coat along with the map I'm intending to fill. If Echo is really here, I need to find where our best defense and offense will be, and who holds those cards. After charting my home and the surrounding area, its strengths and weaknesses, I got into my boat to cross the ocean to find nearby land. After wandering through some plains and mountains, I eventually find myself in a mangrove forest. As I walked further in and slowed my stride, taking in the surrounding area, the dense trees would allow scouts to hide in plain sight. I stopped, sensing that something was approaching, yet there were no footsteps to be heard. I waited for whatever was approaching to make itself known, and if it didn't, I would take action. Then a voice spoke. "Hey there!" I slowed my pace and turned to my left to see what made its way towards me. A figure floating towards me, now staying a few feet away from me. They wore a green sweater with yellow eye patterns, brown pants, armor of black and red. I looked at the figure's face. Black antlers, brown hair, ears that looked the same as a deer. Their eyes and mouth contained pitch-black darkness, half of their face covered in a black substance. I was not bothered by it, having seen many creatures that someone would describe as disturbing. I rested my hands on my hips, relaxing myself. Have I seen this person before? The figure spoke once more. Is there something I can help you with? I had no reason to hide my intentions. Hello, I was just exploring. Who and what might you be? I made sure my question was polite, coming from a place of curiosity. The figure replied. My name is Croy Forgemail, and I'm a ghost. This is my faction, the Fortress of Kindlegrim. Croy pointed behind them and a moment later extended a hand out. May I ask who you are? I was still looking at the area they had pointed to as their factions. Construction by the hands as many were underway. I hummed as I remembered the name Kindlegrim was on the report I had read before. Ah, yes, Kindlegrim. I remember reading the report sent out about the faction after the cable crash. I extended my hand out to shake theirs, granting Croy a firm handshake. It was my turn to introduce myself. My name is John Engler. I'm the leader of OR, the Office of Anomaly Research. I'm an immortal. Croy tilted their head slightly, as if my name was mentioned to them before. Probably not slighted. We both retracted our hands. It now hit me where I might have seen Croy before. Might I ask, were you at the Winter Ball in December? The question definitely brought back distressing memories. Croy faltered for a moment and reached to rub the back of their neck as if feeling for a scar. Yes, I was. Terrible thing it turned into. The ghost was momentarily lost in thought before speaking once more. I assume you were also present. Were you all right after it? The ghost had asked, awkwardly, despite the question being sincere. I carefully think about what I wish to share and what I don't need to. After all, I am wrapping my head around how I'm still alive with my heart being replaced. I find my words in the end. I must admit, my injuries were grave from the collapsing ceiling and debris. A piece managed to wedge through my chest and damaged my heart. I placed my hand over where my heart once was, the space now void of the rhythmic pulse that once was there. If I had only kept my armor plating on, I could have helped more, but that is in the past. However, I got somewhere safe and got the care I needed. I'm glad to say I've recovered my health and strength I lost years ago. I grinned and raised an arm to flex my bicep to try to sway any concern left from the ghost. Croy's shoulders slumped down in what I believe was relief from their ears slightly. I'm sorry that happened to you, but I'm glad you are healed. The ghosts seemed to have trailed off with their sentence. Once they caught themselves, they continued on. I was also fairly injured due to the ball. I was helping keep debris from falling on people and I grew weak, but I managed to recover after a long while. Krufik helped me. She allowed me to take shelter in Frostfire during my recovery. The mention of Krufik caught my attention. I haven't heard from Krufik since I last visited her in the hospital while recovering from Eclipse's attack, also having been away in my realm to treat my injury. I've been meaning to check on her. Maybe Croy knows where she is. You know Krufik. How is she? Do you know where she might be? I haven't seen her as of recent, not since my last visit to her when she was hospitalized. My bombardment of questions may have been a lot, so I let Croy think about the response. I do not believe I have, no. The last time I saw her was at the end of Era 6. I hope she's all right, and I wasn't gravely injured by the cable crash. I think Croy noticed the worried look on my face. If you like, I'm willing to go visit her with you. I'm sure she is well. Mars would make sure of it. A smile found its way back onto my face. Knowing that she's okay and that someone is with her is a relief. I reach into my jacket, sifting through the many items stored. I'll take you up on that offer someday soon. I found the pencil and parchment map I was searching for. I charted down this area as Kindlegrim and jotted a few landmarks down. While it was nice to finally meet someone new, I must continue my journey before the night arrives. It was nice to meet you, Croy Forgemail. I need to carry on with my exploring now, however. I tipped my hat, a sign of parting ways from my world. I start to walk off deeper into the mangrove forest. Thank you for your kindness. I hope to see you again for another conversation. Likewise, I wish you luck with your explorations. I saw the ghost nod before I turned to walk away. Croy seems to be a worthy ally to make. As I walked through the damp forest, I thought to myself, seeing, speaking, and interacting with Croy has answered a question that I've had since the end of the ball when I first saw them. I thought that I was seeing Croy because of my right eye, but it was covered this entire time. As always, this is great, by the way, but when you're writing the same scene from two different perspectives, I recommend writing from just third-person omniscient, where, like, you can get the inside thoughts of both characters while they're speaking, rather than writing the same scene with the same dialogue. This isn't as bad because it's like 2 separate weeks, but we read all of this dialogue already in the previous thing, so I just recommend for next time, and for anyone else who wants to, like, write a character interaction, just write one post, get everyone's stuff in there, unless you have some, like, reflection afterwards that you're gonna have your character have, or one, like, specific part where they, like, you know, get a flashback to something or whatever. You'll want to, because not that this is a waste of a Lore Tuesday space, because nothing that you post on Lore Tuesday is a waste. You will have more room to post other things. Sorry, I don't mean it. I try not to give, like, too much advice, unwanted advice. Everything hurts. Blood-looking tears. Aww. That's so sad. Hello, stranger. This is Lux lore. Lux noticed the fox first, skittering past the tree line and into the meadow below. Must have spotted a wolf, they thought, as they returned to their mapping. This region was almost done. Really, if it weren't for all the cliffs, they would have finished by now. Few had settled this direction. It was easier for the resettlement to remain in the flatter plains, after all. The lack of objects blocking their view only made it easier to spot the whites and golds of the Solpak Navy's uniform. Human from the looks of it, though the grays in his hair seemed to contrast with the nimbleness of his movements as he leapt over the countless boulders. The rocks were large enough that Lux worried the soldier would make one bad jump and end with a broken bone. Somehow, though, he defied their expectations, remaining straight-legged as he barely bent his feet as they hit the ground. Stronger than he looked, they supposed, as long as he didn't bother them. Of course, the moment they thought that, the soldier had to spot them. His face lit up in a smile as he bounded over to them with the same grace still shown coming down the other direction. Upon closer inspection, Lux noticed his uniform was still pristine. Not a speck of red sand marred the white, a grand contrast to Lux's own outfit after so long working. He waved once the two were in speaking range. "Hello there! I'm part of the Solpak Navy. You're one of the Salatians, correct?" Lux nodded as they rolled up the map. "Yes, I am. Now what is the Navy doing all the way out here?" "Well, you see, I've never had the best sense of direction." He rubbed the back of his neck guiltily. "And you lost your way?" "Exactly. Now all of this is beautiful." He waved his hand around them. "But I haven't the faintest idea how to get back to the base again. I hate to be a bother, but can I ask for some guidance?" Lux frowned before they could stop themselves. The satellites were so new they were practically shining. Besides, they hadn't run into any problems with their own communicator, and the ones the Navy used were vastly superior, as much as Lux was loath to admit it. If the problem was on the Salatian side, they needed to know how to fix it. "I can look at your communicator for you," they offered. "I may not be an expert, but I know that it should hold out long enough for you to find your way back." Somehow the man looked even less comfortable than before. "I appreciate the gesture, but it's not the communicator that's the problem. Most likely it's still on my nightstand, through no one's fault but my own." Lux wasn't sure if that was better. If only he were unprofessional, it would be one thing, but the Navy was on solace to fix their own failure. They almost shuddered at the idea that the last remains of Echo could break through the atmosphere, only for the soldiers to delay their response through their own incompetence. "Hopefully that's not a habit of yours." He gave a small chuckle. "Forgive me, I'm still learning. Where I'm from, wilderness like this isn't a thing. But I've learned my lesson, don't you fear. I'll keep my communicator on me at all times in the future. So," he looked at them expectantly, "if you could point me back towards the base, I will be eternally grateful." Lux didn't answer at first, too focused on his perfect uniform from his cap to his shoes. City life didn't tend to teach its residents survival skills, and yet here he was, without a scratch on his body, miles from where he should be. Suspicion seeped through their conversation before Lux made their decision. They pointed south. "I believe what you need is that way." If the soldier noticed the strange wording, he didn't comment on it. "Why, thank you, good citizen," he grinned widely. "Hopefully I'll see you around the base in the future." With a wave, he began his trek further away from any sign of civilization. He would be fine, Lux thought as they waited for him to disappear over the hill before heading the opposite direction. Of course, they would tell the Navy once they returned to make sure, but either way, he clearly knew how to remain safe. This was just a precaution, one Lux hoped was unnecessary in the end. Croy's Journal. Saturday, 4th of July, 2498. Yesterday was quite an interesting day. Virgil's home! Virgil's home! Sorry about that. Had to go to the bathroom too. Virgil forgot how old I was. He had to ask me. Hello, Beef. You're back. Are you here for the people? Perhaps? Come on. Come on, Beef. There we go. Hello, baby. Oh. Here briefly. Then she runs. The Freya summoning circle kind of worked. She came back within days of it being built. That's so funny. Yesterday was quite an interesting day. That is the best word I have to describe it. I'm still processing everything myself. I had just gone for a walk, take a break from the processes of the faction. Everything I wanted done that day had been completed, so there was no point in continuing into tomorrow's tasks. I had come by a large red building, which I soon deduced was a casino, not only from the giant sign down the side, but from the conversation of two individuals in front of it. A person of stone named Onyx and an imp named Arrow, I believe. A living statue race has not been something I've come across before. However, I do know of a few imps and devils in my faction. You just gonna scratch that thing, Beef? You just gonna scratch it? Ew. I observed them both for a while before my daughter Light approached me from nearby with someone else new by the name of Orion. The two had been in a conversation with the other two before I had arrived, and while they all honed back into speaking, the tension was evident. I do not know what specifically was said before I arrived, but it all resulted in Orion walking off to breathe and Light blowing up at Arrow. The topic had reached the topic of death, and I know Light holds that very dear to her heart, despite how it seems to hurt her. Beef is just shaking the tree. During this, Rex had bounded up as excited as ever, but by the time Light left, he was hiding. I have learned that he does not like yelling and loud noises in general. He has very sensitive ears. So sensitive that he told me he can hear the sky and trees speaking. After speaking with Arrow and Onyx a bit more, which consisted of the imp hiding behind Onyx for the duration whenever I came closer, and the duo teaching Rex a few swear words. No! That's so funny. I need Freya to teach Rex how to say bitch. The sky said that there was a spring in Etheria, and Rex wanted to go. So I led the way, and in time we came to the spring, which was beneath a large pink and white tree atop a mountain. It was the same as the tree after Light died, which Rex had pointed out. I did not expect Light to tell him, but maybe he just overheard her. Beef, what are you yapping about? Are you mad because Virgil went to take a shower? She's just running around yelling. We reunited with Light and Orion there, to which Light took me aside to speak with me about what was going on, about the Luminous Order being an empire who used parasitic masks to control those forcibly conformed to their belief. Orion had previously been Atlas, when under the control of his own mask. The mask's artificial intelligence was removed from the mask to Light's tablet scroll contraption thing, and is currently held trapped behind a strong firewall. At first, I was shocked. Why would she want that on something that contains so much information? Very important information, and it could still speak. It was constantly interrupting me. I wish people would stop doing that. It is incredibly irritating. But I could not be angry with her. I still cannot. She acted in a way she thought was best, and for that I am proud of her. She is so strong. She takes after Waters greatly. It was reaching the end of our conversation when we both noticed Rex watching us. Originally, he was sitting with Orion, but with those brilliant ears of his, he might have overheard things. I would not put it past him that he heard everything. It would make sense with how his behavior shifted. He was angry. He did not know how to get rid of it or how to express it. I did my best to explain. We all did, and I believed it helped. I hope it did. Light and Orion had gone ahead of us after Light showed us the event hall herself. Lucky and a few others had been working on. It was beautiful. How she managed with her legs is beyond me. But Rex was about to leave to dig a hole to make himself feel better. Before he left, he asked if Light can stop the AI on her tablet from speaking. When I confirmed it, he responded that it was good. And then proceeded to say, because I don't want to hear it speak around me again. Aww. His voice had gotten very deep as he spoke. I was not expecting it, but barely a moment later he lit up and said goodbye, gallivanting off to dig his comfort pit. Everything was a lot. I know Light wants to report the Luminous Empire at the faction meeting. I had suggested reporting it then and there, given what we know, but Light wanted to get more information out of the thing beforehand. She wanted to be sure. I'm going to attend the faction meeting this time. I want to support her. I have not been present enough in her life. I should have never made her feel as if my work was more important than her. I will fix this now. I will not repeat my failures as a father from last era again. Light will not be able to attend the meeting. She's asked me to relay information in her place. She had given me the script she wrote for herself. I'm going to be yelled at for information I wanted told and solved earlier. I'm going to get blamed. She deserves the rest. She has enough on her plate already with searching for her father, minding her faction, taking care of Orion. I will do this for her. And yelled at he did. Late at night, Adolin catches a member of the Soulpack Navy snooping around the marketplace. But surely they were just doing routine inspection, right? I wish... Hold on. Let me do this. Yeah, there we go. Now we can see the whole thing. Hi, Mika. We need, like, suspicious music. Adolin in the corner is so funny to me. Ada, look. Even if the Navy was up to something, the Navy's not going anywhere. They're here to help. And I'm really happy that you spoke up about what you saw, Adolin, but I think that you need to be more trusting of people. Your art is always so good. Can you believe that he does this with Microsoft Paint? It's so good. I wonder what's going up with the Navy right now. A lot of people are acting strange. I wonder what that could be. So odd. Doo-doo, 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 doo-doo. Exactly. Pink Panther theme. Alright, a revelation from Trigal. Okay, so this is east, and... Wait, that's not right. Trigal held her map closer to her face and squinted at it. I just passed the mushroom bar, so if I keep going this way, then the library should be that way? She sighed and folded the map back into her pocket. I guess we'll find out, she said to herself. It'll be an adventure. As Trigal walked along the path, her thoughts drifted back to the volcano. She hadn't made any progress figuring out what the spire was supposed to be warning her about, and the Paragon had stayed silent on that front. There were so many unanswered questions pulling at her attention. How many spires were there? Could she destroy them, or would that somehow benefit it? And how much time did she have before everything began to fall? A thought bubbled to the surface of her mind. Something that the Riddles had mentioned. One among their group will feign, one will cause them endless pain. The creature had said teamwork would be their downfall. Could that be true? Could this be the mysterious threat it had warned her about? She shook her head and dispelled the idea. No, that train of thought wouldn't help anything. It couldn't. If somebody on Solace really posed a threat, then she would cross that bridge when she gets there. Until then, she just had to trust her allies, even though they didn't trust her. Even though she had withheld an idea about the volcano. She hadn't lied or even misled anybody, but it still felt wrong not to mention it. Trigal knew that if push came to shove, there would only be one way to deal with the volcano, and most people wouldn't like it if... Trigal turned the corner and almost ran straight into someone. She abruptly stopped herself and backed up. The woman was another human, a member of the Soulpack Navy, probably about 180 centimeters tall with long brown hair. She didn't recognize the officer, but that didn't mean anything. There were plenty of Navy members that she hadn't met, and she definitely didn't plan on getting to know them. Trigal moved to walk around her, but the woman suddenly said, "You, do you live on this planet?" Trigal paused. Yes, I do. Hi." The Navy officer stared at Trigal, her face unmoving. "Where's the Navy stationed?" Trigal frowned. "You mean your Navy base?" "Yes." "You don't know where your Navy base is?" The woman continued to stare. "Where is it?" Trigal glanced over her shoulder. "It's like down that way. There's a big spaceship there. It's by the tents." "Is there..." The woman paused for a moment. "Is there a place to distribute food?" Trigal nodded. "Yep, that does indeed exist. It's also right next to the Navy base. You can't miss it. There's this big farm right outside." The person looked off in the direction Trigal was pointing, and she took this as a sign that the conversation was ending. She almost walked away, but hesitated, then quickly turned back. "You're from Earth, right? I don't suppose you know." "What?" the officer interrupted. Trigal frowned. "Well, you're from Earth, yes? I assumed from your accent, the fact that you're Navy, that you're from Earth?" The woman didn't respond, and just stared at Trigal. After a few seconds, she finally answered. "I don't know what you're talking about." Trigal squinted at her. Oh, Okay, well, good luck finding your... Yeah, bye. She turned away and started hurrying towards the library. As she walked, her stomach lurched, and she almost stumbled off the path. Paragon, she said through gritted teeth. Get a grip. Leave me alone. The feeling faded after a second, and she continued down the trail. You want me to find the spires, but you don't want me to go into the library so I can learn more about you. Pick a lane. A voice echoed around her, one she had grown accustomed to. Danger. Yes, she scoffed. I know there's danger. We all know there's danger. You made that abundantly clear. But since you very graciously neglected to tell us what the danger is, I now have to find out at the library, which you are trying to stop me from doing. The voice stayed silent, and for a moment Trigal thought it would leave her alone. Then her knees buckled and her vision pitched. The world around her vanished in an instant, and in its place appeared an intense, raging fire. Grass became ash and dirt became brimstone, and all around Trigal the ground began cracking open. The world was engulfed in flame as far as she could see, and the sky was choked out by a thick blanket of smoke. Ash and embers fluttered past her, and in the distance she could see a mountain towering above its fellow hills. Lava spewed from its peak, and Trigal could feel it radiating heat even from kilometers away. The volcano, she said under her breath, and just like that, it was over. The world was back to normal, and the sun was shining once more. Shaking, Trigal looked down at her hands. Her skin was still stinging from the heat, and the edges of her coat were very faintly singed. I understand now, Trigal breathed. She stared in the direction of the spire. It was too far away for her to see, but she could feel its presence. It was there. It was calling to her, and she knew what she had to do to destroy it. Again, what's with these Navy people being so strange? That's so weird. They seemed pissed by the time Trigal saw them. Wonder why? I have no idea what could be up with the Navy. I haven't noticed anything. Yeah. Maybe they're just being normal. I mean, some of them, they don't seem like a very friendly, you know. Have you guys ever met a friendly part of the Soul Pack Navy? Was Marcelo friendly? Maybe if you doubted more like I do. Did my music stop? No, it was just very quiet. Maybe if you doubted more like I do, then all of that wouldn't have happened. Arrow finally got some karma after the last meeting. Oof. Comical. A deal between family. Balios. The sun was slowly falling toward the horizon as Orion made his way home. The weather was nice, and there was a subtle breeze in the air. Orion had his pickaxe over his shoulder, humming to himself as he walked towards the bridge to head home. The moment his foot interacted with the wood of the bridge, his body faded into the wind, his pickaxe falling to the ground with a clank. Orion appeared near the cliffside. Oh, didn't mean to do that. As he looked towards the peak, he saw a guy sitting on a bench, his red hair flowing in the wind. The man shifted his head back to look at the half-cybernetic man. Though the man's eyes were covered in a blindfold, he still met the other's gaze. You must be the one my sister has helped, Balios said as he gestured for Orion to sit next to him on the bench. Orion looked around for a moment before looking back at Balios slowly walking over. He didn't sit right away, just looked at Balios. Who are you? He asked bluntly, obviously not liking that he was so rudely taken from his walk home. Balios just smiled at the other. I am Light's brother, Balios. Please sit. I won't harm you. I just want to know the person whom my sister took under her wings. Balios gestured for the spot next to him. Orion slowly walked over to Balios before sitting down on the bench. He looked around slowly, taking in the scene before turning his attention to Balios. It's nice to meet you, Balios. I am Orion, but I'm guessing you already knew that from the start. Balios nodded before looking out to the scene. The sun was slowly falling lower at the peak. There was a soft sound of the waves crashing from below the cliff. Yes, I knew who you are. At least your name, so please tell me about yourself. I'm curious to know how another person fell to my sister's charm of adoption, he chuckled. Orion chuckled along with him quietly before responding. It's a long story to tell, he paused before speaking up again. There is this order known as the Luminous Order, or otherwise known as the Luminous Empire. They had me under some type of mind control as they forced me to obey them. He looked away, saddened. Light figured it out and freed me from their mind control before actually getting a good look at me. I was a child, or, well, a teen at least. She took me in after that, and that's how I got here. Ah, the cultist empires. We had a lot of those on my planet. Though mind control wasn't a way they forced their members into submission. It was more of psychological torture. Scare people into submission and all that. And I'm going to guess those legs are from them too? People are brutal these days, Balios asked kindly as he looked back at Orion. Yeah, those are the legs they forced me to have. They are brutal people who force people with non-humanoid bodies to have more humanoid forms. Orion sighed before changing the subject. Anything else you would want to know, Uncle? He questioned. Balios nodded as he listened to the boy speak. He thought for a moment before he replied. Would you like a new body? I'd more than welcome you to not have something from the past. I found that removing things from the past will boost someone's self-esteem. He looked directly at Orion, his blindfolded eyes meeting his. Orion perked up at the idea before nodding rapidly. Oh yes, I would love a new body. Thank you, Uncle Balios. A smile crossed his face as he imagined what it would be like to have his old body back. Balios' smile grew as he outstretched his hand for a handshake. Perfect! And in return, I would just like you to gather me information whenever I need it. Nothing too harsh. He spoke calmly as if this was a normal deal. Nothing wrong could happen. Orion stretched his hand out to shake Balios' hand before nodding rapidly. It's a deal. Balios shook the boy's hand 3 times. The first time, the sun had gone down fully, leaving them in darkness. The second time, glowing strings of magic began to circle the hands of the two. Balios froze before the third, pulling him in gently. And remember, what happens here stays here. He then shook his hand for a 3rd time, and slowly a wave began from his hand and changed his body. His body shape and size stayed the same, but as the wave went over his head, half of his face was covered in what looked like tiny glowing stars. As the wave trailed down, his wings grew from his back and a tail sprouted, a ring near the end of it. Balios' smile grew, but his form flickered for a moment, half of his face revealing Adohim, golden eyes, gray hair, and 1 large horn. But it was quickly covered by the rest of the disguise. Good. Now remember, what happened here stays. You'll be free to shift back into your old body, and you'll be able to astral project, just in case the information I need gets too hard for you to get in body. But let's hope it doesn't come to that. Balios let go of the newly changed boy and stood up from the bench and turned back to Orion. Oh, and just in case you're wondering about that little marking on your wrist, don't mind it. It's just another gift from your uncle. Though in any form, it will always be there, so I just suggest you tell Light you got a tattoo. He then smiled at him again before bowing slightly to vanish to the winds. Ooh. We have... Hi, Ross. From Light, July 1st. Oh me, oh my.
Fuck! God damn it all! No! I am not okay! Gods above, didn't you hear what he said? An entire empire! It is insolent! That's an echo of famous secret. Fucking reading that now? No! Apparently it wasn't fucking Kakamas! No! I will not calm down! Why should I calm down? Solus is a fucking hellscape of misery and death, and people keep adding on to it! I am sick and tired of breaking up everything, only to find yet another threat that means harm to the people of this planet! They can all fuck off! Leave us alone! We do not need the fucking...
That was muted. Valid crash out. Very valid crash out. We have The Incident from Myth. Oh god, sorry. Curious what this little, like, noise is that keeps happening. I'm guessing it's like a representation of the communication to this character. No spoken words. This log So the audio follows with the document. Oh, I'm supposed to read with it? Oh, I hope I get the timing right, I guess. Well, here goes. The Varnaki possess a unique connection to the world and each other. A gift granted to them... Oh, I see. A gift granted them by the one who made them. One Varnaki can communicate to another across great distances. This achieved in a form often resembling telepathy, though not entirely silent. Whispers, crackling. Those details will be the indication that communication is occurring. And when one Varnaki doesn't respond, alternate forms of communication can be established. A long-distance sense, an early warning system, a dire request to a maker. Trees everywhere, ones that are silent and yet speak infinitely, distractingly. The scene is unfamiliar, new senses in a new setting. Adjustments have to be made. A slow walk, a piloted branch. Food supplies, direction of travel unknown. The stopping of movement, the weight of concern, an indistinct but familiar presence. We have recording started, scanning locational data. Location data determined forest. Undetected. Assessing user status. Considered. Hazard detected. Head injury. Oh. Hazard detected. Oh, gunshot. Heavy impact. Connection to severed to branch. I read that wrong. Connection failed. Try again? Yes. Interesting. Reading with ambience. I like it. Oh no, Truffle. What I missed here is undetected, considered, a danger, a warning. Connection severed to branch. Just making sure there's nothing hidden here. Interesting. We have remembrance. Playing memory, 11, party, 333. You do remember you can't bring 53 to this, right? I rightfully passed the trials to get them, so if they want 53 gone, they will have to pry 'em out of my rusted hands. Very funny, but be serious here. I heard there were going to be some from Story's beginning here. Will he be there? Most definitely. He's there to probably make good relations with the Olesians? They may lead us, but it certainly feels like they look out for themselves more. Malacliffe there is also something I want to... Oh, Malacliffe, there is also something I want to ask you. I already agreed to marry you. What else do you want to ask? When all this is said and done, and you're done with the army, what would you want to do? I would like to run a museum, but that will take centuries, and even more centuries to collect the things I need in the meantime. Then I will collect the things for you while you are busy, so this dream of yours can blossom like the flower fields of desolate Spear. Aww. Aww. This is one of Scarab 53's memories. Oh, that's so sad. We have Mikal, Lore, decided on doing something smaller and lighthearted. Yay! No angst! Hooray! Oh, we got the MLA format? Is that why Magos collects? If that's why Magos collects things, I'm gonna gonna kill someone. I'm gonna kill Bagel specifically. That's so sad. Oh, I don't think that's why he collects samples from people. I think that was to try to find a cure. But today I decided to finally take a chance and do some exploring. Solace is very different from my home planet. There's plants everywhere, grass on the ground, different biomes. I didn't even know there were this many kinds of trees. I told Adolin I was going to change my diet because I was scared of being able to turn into one of the animals on this planet. She decided to make a list of what to look for in terms of plants to eat. I was surprised because all the plants on my home planet were only for the few different animals that lived there. Anyone who consumed those plants was also killed due to the unknown poisons in them. I always wondered why the government didn't fund research into finding out what they were, but then again, they were also responsible for basically ruining my life for a while. Since I had regained my strength thanks to the help of Adolin, I decided to fly across the land and really look at what there is to see. Getting a good look at everything let me see just what the state this planet is actually in. Honestly, it's such a gorgeous planet. Even with all the chaos going on because of this big thing that happened before I got here, the sights are just breathtaking. I never knew a place like this could exist. I even saw random small towns with these things that kind of look like people just living their lives. I decided after flying for a while to hit the land and go searching for these plants that Adolin recommended. I'm still cautious of her, but she says that the meals I've been having have had these vegetables in them. She also gave me a list of what not to get since there's a chance those things could kill me. I don't want to fail her and die within only a couple weeks of being here. After filling up my satchel full of things for me to try, I decided to fly back over to Lilac and show Adolin my findings. I'm starting to really get used to living here. My exploration day made me realize just how different this place is from my old home. There's so much I want to do and try to preserve this beauty, to try and preserve the beauty that this planet has. I just hope the government here isn't as stupid as the one back on my home planet. Those rulers only cared about themselves. Do not worry. Freya may be stupid. Well, she's not really the leader anymore, but Freya may be stupid, but she does care. And the Navy is not stupid, and they also care. So things are on the up and up. Why is the Navy acting weird, though? That's so strange. Orion intake form. By the way, if you want to do therapy with Caitlin, you gotta fill out an intake form first, by the way. Freya's not stupid. Okay, she is smart. She's just very scared. She's naive. She's not careless. She does care. She just doesn't know how to fix things. Otherwise, she would just be like, she would just leave everyone and never come back. She came back because she really did care deep down. Yes! We can. All you have to do is you gotta fill out the intake form for your character, and then I'll make a document that has the intake form, and then we go back and forth with, like, the actual session. It's usually like 2 pages long. And then you can use that to write whatever you want. I'm not writing it for you. You have an idea? You want to check? Oh, violent idea. You're gonna try to kill Caitlin? Oh god. She would not be able to fight back. She's an old woman. Alright. First name Orion. Last name I don't have one. Age 27, I guess 17 in human terms. Date of birth don't remember. Adrian. Male. Not married. I don't have kids. I live with my adopted mother's Light and Lucky. I don't work. Oh, I thought I was gonna sneeze. I guess not. I was forced to come here by my adopted mother, Light, because she is worried about what happened with my past, which I don't think is that bad. I mean, yeah, mind control is bad and forced surgery, but yeah, that's about it. How intense is your emotional distress? I would say a 6 or a 5. How much do the problems affect your daily life? I would say 8 because of the pain from the surgery. When did these problems start? 7 years ago when I was forced into a hospital. The rest in history. Current habits. Caffeine intake, yes. Exercise, yes. Eating and sleeping, kinda. Fun and relaxation, no. You can be violent. I mean, that'll probably have Caitlin put security outside of her room. Yeah, go ahead. That would actually be pretty good for her, because I'm not really writing lore for her. I was going to, but like I'm just doing it for other people mainly. But her story is that she was a therapist, and then the great anomaly happened and she got completely overwhelmed, tried to do it for a few more years afterwards and quit, and has just become a very miserable person because of it, is like really stressed, and everything. And so Truffle getting mad at Caitlin is gonna bring back like something. Yeah, DM me about it. Parental figures. My relationship with my mother's is good, I think. Don't have any siblings. I don't know many of my extended family. I have no children. I have one friend, Rex. I think it's good. Total number of close, supportive relationships. 3, maybe 2. Current significant or stressful life events. My surgery. The goddamn Empire. My mother says I don't have many friends. I miss my biological family, though I cannot remember their faces. What are your positive qualities? I don't know, maybe my strength? Fighting? I wasn't in control of my body for 7 years. I don't know who I am anymore. What plans do you have for the future? None. Just survive. What are your goals for counseling? Get better, I guess? Is there anything else you'd like to mention? No. And then we can end it on a frog video. I know this was posted afterwards, but it's okay. I do... Frog, I never sent you... Did I never send you the footage? Oh my god. Did I never? Okay. I'm so sorry. I need to upload that still. Alright, we are gonna... I didn't get it, but I have my side. Damn it. I will upload that, like, immediately. Not that it helps now, but, you know, it's something, I guess. The music is killing me. Alright. Hello, everyone. This is a very normal faction meeting. It's good to see you all back. I don't really have anything to announce. Yeah, I actually really don't have... There's nothing really going on right now. If you have something to say or an announcement to make, you can come up here and say it.
Hello. This is an announcement that was originally supposed to be made by Light, but she was unable to attend today. This announcement is something that she found out a few days ago. This is regards to the faction known as the Luminous Order and something connected to it. As of July 1st, she had learned that a member of the faction had been under a form of mind control. Before anyone asks, no, I will not release the name of this individual at this time. They require time to recover and adjust to being free again, not being crowded by strangers they hardly know. The Luminous Order, or Empire, I should say, seems to subjugate the planets they conquer by using masks. These masks seem to have a level of sentience attached to them. It seems to be artificial in nature, but strong enough that when the mask is worn, that consciousness of the mask is able to override the wearers. It forces you to follow the will of its rulers. They also forcibly modify the bodies of those they subjugate if they appear to be less humanoid in bodily structure, forcing them to take on a humanoid appearance. This sounds awful to hear, I know, and myself and my daughter both wished we had better news to share. It seems as though Solace has become a Luminous Empire's next target. We both speak this as a warning to everyone. Be on guard and be careful. If anyone has any questions, I will try my best to answer them, but I would recommend contacting Light because I was only informed of this all of 2 days ago.
Wait, no, that's Frog.
It's this, yeah, it's that one.
Okay.
Is this one? Oh.
Yeah.
Frog, my bad.
No questions. Okay, I'll sit down now.
No.
No, there's questions.
Hi, Croy. I remember talking earlier, specifically last era. My first question is, why didn't you contact the Soul Pact since, you know, they can help? I know you, last before, you have encountered issues, but because of your refusal to reach out to, you know, the system, it created more issues.
Eclipse attacked a group of Solatians while they were in the Forest of Frostfire.
So you're just doing the same thing again, and I want to know why
The
you
call
did
out.
that.
As I said before, I had only found out about this 2 days ago. Light had planned to inform all of the people attending the faction meeting along with the Soul Pact at the faction meeting. At the time, she
Okay,
was still
but
processing things. Please do not interrupt me, Mira. I'm trying to explain something to you. At the time, she was going to, but at the time, she was also trying to comfort that of the victim and trying to process things herself. And I was also trying to process things. We were always going to contact the Soul Pact.
okay, you also do realize that the more that you waited, someone else could have gotten hurt because of you not contacting someone. 2 days is a long time. You are aware that a lot can happen to a person in 2 days.
The aftermath of what had happened the other day is most likely already known.
Someone else can get moved in 2 days. Someone can get hurt in 2 days. I understand that you had, some kind of issue, like you're not processing stuff. That's totally normal. That's human.
You're a ghost.
Look,
I don't think anything can go wrong for you.
But still, you as a leader had the responsibility to inform
edit this with
someone and
1,000
inform
blind
other
moves?
people just to keep safety. I understand why Light
Befitting.
wouldn't speak up, and that's totally fine. I understand her. She had a process, but you as the leader, or as a faction leader, instead, you should have been worried about also the safety of your faction and everybody else. And even if it was a message, even if it was a report, something like that would have helped, because you have done this before. You have done this multiple times where you have learned about something but refused to reach out or reached out specific at a faction meeting.
Due to my own sightings of her, which I have had multiple times.
Instead of, reaching out to someone earlier. Keeping this trend can also cause anxiety, can cause panic.
I understand that my lack of action and leaving it for the 2 days, I do apologize for that. But I am confused by what you mean by trend. Would you want to explain that to me? I want to thank you all for taking time out of your day to come to this funeral, or is this a
You kept
private
the
matter
clips
that should not be I repeat myself. This was a plan that I had created with us at a faction meeting in front of a crowd.
All right, then I just hope that if you're aware then that with what I'm talking about, you can also learn that what you're doing is wrong. Because
I will I'll post I'll be posting the like full video in like a higher quality without the wiggling right after the stream. So like right after this video. And if you're using like my VODs and stuff, like unless you're trying to like as long as you're making something out of it, you don't have to credit me at all. But if you're like just reposting it or something, which I know you're not doing, I mean, credit me. That reminds me of like someone was using my Lore Tuesday streams for some like AI generated story YouTube channel. I don't know if some of you guys saw that. It was so strange. It was me and some other person's stuff. They were like just putting my VODs without sound or anything as like the background of their like AI generated stories. Like, those like Reddit story text to speech reading things. It was like that. It was so strange. I got a bunch of them taken down, but it was like 30 of them. I didn't want to go through and do like the claim for every single one, so I'm sure some of them are. It was literally like they used part of like the last Lore Tuesday from last season, which was kind of funny.
this is a trend, you can admit that just the fact that you know what I'm referring to, you already are aware that this is a trend. So I just hope you understand that. And if something like this happens again, I expect that just for the safety of everybody, you reach out to other people.
Does anyone else have any other questions?
The Luminous Empire will not be coming as soon as everybody thinks. We are 2 galaxies away.
Well, I am not okay, me as a person, I am not aware of what they're able to do, because guess what? I didn't know that even this problem existed. You have to realize that even if it's 2 days, the Soul Pact can, get people here in 2 days. People can come here, like, maybe something you're not aware about in 2 days. 2 days is a long time. Even if it's a day, you can travel from here to maybe like, I don't know, halfway into, I don't know, the nearest planet. There's a distance that can happen. There's a lot of time that can happen. and just waiting, just the fact that you're waiting is creating danger for everybody else.
I'm not here to argue like some people.
I'm not arguing. It's just, it's something that has been causing a trend and has caused problems before in this planet before, for like 2 eras now. We had Oko, we had Eclipse. People not speaking out creates more problems. And if we're just gonna keep doing this era, this is just gonna cause more problems. People are gonna get hurt. People are gonna get killed just because people are just too afraid to speak up. And I understand you guys are processing stuff, but if someone trusts you and trusts that you're gonna protect them, you should be able, as you know, as a leader, to protect everybody else, to let everybody else be aware in a timely manner instead of, you know, bringing it out in the open every single time. Because even if Croy had reached out to the Soul Pact, let's just say like through a comms message of like, hey, this is what happened, here's a summary, that would have done more stuff than, you know, bringing it up here, because no one from the Soul Pact right here is here. The Friedrich is over there, busy with stuff. Maybe now Freya, I don't know if she's even gonna care. She might tell Friedrich. So right now, just because you guys are not talking, you guys are not telling people, stuff is happening. And that's what I'm trying to bring up. This is what I'm trying to solve. And I do apologize for what happened to you.
Mira is right. We do need to be open about these things. I am no longer going to just sit back and watch things happen. A lot of the reason, and I know there were other times where I did know of things and I didn't take action in time.
I've been here for a while and you chose not to fight. Everyone blames you. They'll always blame you. Because it's your fault I'm here and he's not.
You
keep
bringing up a lot of the reason for the last few years that I haven't been able to solve issues is because nobody tells me. That's like direct insight into what Freya is replaying in her mind during this. If you have anything dangerous, if you've met someone dangerous, if you know that something is going on, please tell me, because now we don't have just me, and we don't have just, you know, a few people, no offense to the guard force last era, but we have the entire Soul Pact Navy backing us. It's imperative that you tell me and Friedrich and anyone, Mira, everyone who is in charge of keeping this planet safe when things happen. And if you do not, then that's on you.
Hello! Oh god! Excuse me! I have got...
I had too much fun with this.
I can't stop laughing! I'm sorry.
If anyone has anything else to say or announce, Mira, I'd like to speak with you afterwards if possible. If not, then we can adjourn the meeting here. And the fact that Rex was laughing, I was like, oh, this is so funny. Okay, if the dead can come back here, I don't want to see her again. Ooh, angst. Ooh. Oh, where's my camera? Oh. The Fire Blast edit effect. I just saw in another server, this Virgil has, people were talking about there being Smile SMP epic rap battles of history. Who would you like to see? We love the flashbacks. It's great. It also gives some like good context. But if there was an epic rap battles of the SMP, Freya versus Mira, oh god, Mira would cook Freya. Mira would cook Freya. Immediate Freya loses. Ball Cutter 29 versus who? Joseph's the staff. Okul and Eclipse, since they're both dead, is wild. Actually, that would be a great one. They were enemies. At the end, Freya explodes Mira! Marcelo and Eclipse, yeah, we know who wins that one. Ball Cutter 29 versus Omen? I need to get on these, actually. If people want to, we could do this. Low-key, like, I think that'd be fun. Omen just says, what the fuck, man? Ball Cutter 29 is, Ball Cutter 29, a mentally ill person. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't memorized. Unlike some people. Not you don't have to edit a rap battle. I would edit the rap battle. I'd make the music. I'd write the raps. I'd attempt to rap. Olive Garden mascot. All right. I think that's everything. Again, for those who don't know, the events, upcoming events, the Jester show is now on the 11th, and event is on the 12th. And faction meeting will be moved. The last one. Olive Garden is canon because the baking video, the last one when Marcella was alive. What? Freya, they need to rap battle in the Waffle House. That would be funny. Marcello's last words, Olive Garden, they would not. He would rather die a worse death than have his last words be Olive Garden. His last words were, oh yeah, you people know how to, what did he say? The one thing you fucking people know how to do is rip apart families. Those were his last words. And then probably, oof, ouch, owie, this hurts. Okay, I'm going now. Why is the Navy acting weird? Who knows?